Thank you. Jill, can you scroll down for me for a second? Thank you. So good afternoon, everybody. It is October 14th, 11:32, and we'll start with the land acknowledgement statement. Before we begin, we acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional and unceded territory of the Lummi, Nooksack, Samish, and Semiahmoo people who have cared for and tended this land since time immemorial. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and difference. We begin this effort to acknowledge what has been buried by honoring the truth. We pay respect to their elders, past and present. Please take a moment to consider the many legacies of violence, displacement, migration, and settlement that bring us together here today. And please join us in uncovering such truths at any and all public events. All right, thank you. We've called to order, and we're going to go to number 2 on the 2026 action plan. And so Jill gave us some paperwork in your packets on the Legal and Justice Committee action plan. And I'm opening it up to everybody here. I'm hoping you had a moment to review it. Would it be helpful for us to put that on the screen and to share that? The silence.
Yes, I think that's a good idea to put it on the screen.
Thank you. All right. So we have completed some of the items on the Legal and Justice Action Plan, but we need to kind of have ideas of what we want to do in the future. I think, Jill, did you send me a different one that you've got? Because I'm showing some of the stuff in red.
I sent you an annotated agenda that has some notes from me in red.
Ah, okay, that's great. Never mind. Thank you. I'm just like, I'm missing something. So we have analyzed bail practices, whether there is racial, ethnic, or bias in how bail is applied, and we're going to have a follow-up on the main task force with Judge from Walla Walla. So I think that is something that we've worked on. And we want continued review of the use and efficacy of the public safety assessment and assess whether there is racial or ethnic bias in pretrial processes. Not quite sure how we can work on that, but maybe Stephanie and Judge Jones can give them some input on that, or even Jake, because they have pretrial services, if that's something we can look at. But basically what I would like is for those of you here to give us some ideas of what you think we can do and how we can put those agendas in 2026. Jill has given me some guidance on that, which is extremely beneficial. We still look at diversion and reentry. So anybody have thoughts, recommendations, what we should be looking at for the next year? Maya.
Sorry, of course I just got a phone call.
Oh, that's okay. Anybody else have any thoughts?
I'll just jump in, sure. I guess as the Legal and Justice Subcommittee, I just think it's in our best interest, everyone else, just to stay focused on the big project we have in front of us with the new jail and behavioral health center, and to continue to unpack the diversion part of that, to continue to realize that it's not here yet, and so how can we be creative with working together with the resources we have now to manage to get there, right? So I don't know, just keeping those two things in mind, to me, makes the most sense moving forward.
Appreciate that, Jake. Thank you. Any other comments or thoughts?
Yes,
Eric?
yeah, I'll add something. A couple things going on here. With this the bail analysis, I think we ought to be also looking at whether bail should be imposed at all. I mean, that should be their standard question, as you know, not just is it being applied fairly amongst racial groups and things like that. I'll also say that with the changes that we've made recently in charging things immediately, I think we're making some quicker decisions on whether or not to charge. And I think that we're probably reducing the amount of time that folks might be sitting in jail awaiting that. And I'm not sure how to analyze that. I mean, it's already happened, but it feels like that things have changed quite a bit. I know that people have been released far sooner than they would have, given our requirement to analyze things faster, to look at our cases faster. Anyway, those are my thoughts about things.
It would be interesting to see if there was a way the jail could assist us with release data. Since we've made those changes on individuals that are booked in, and if they're getting out quicker, or if they're just being dropped down to the muni courts. I don't know if that's something we can analyze. Is that something you can do with your data, Eric?
Maybe, and when you say just drop down to the muni courts, I mean dropping something down to the muni courts immediately makes another determination whether or not somebody should be held, and you know the muni courts are not holding people as liberally as we are, because it costs the municipalities money to hold folks. So these are just things that are going on.
Okay. Wendy?
And yes, maybe if you'd like, I can ask if we can find out this information. How many people, I mean, charging decisions that have changed because we have prosecutors looking at cases that they have to file immediately.
Right.
Raylene, I can get a hold, I don't know if Caleb's here or not, but I can get a hold of him. We routinely have the release information as far as what happened. It would be a matter of getting a hold of IT and see if they can, you know, if Eric can give us about when they started being able to push charging decisions more rapidly, then we could take a look at before and after, because otherwise somebody would just need to sit down and go through the release paperwork that's on the web, but that's time consuming and nobody has that time. So I think that we could be looking at either charges were dropped or charges referred to municipal court, that, you know, we could take a look and see what are the reasons that the deputies enter into the release information. And I'm real willing to reach out to Caleb. That's not a problem.
I think that would be helpful. I think we started this in September.
In September? Okay. Oh, that'll be easy because it's only a couple of months then.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see if I can get a hold of Caleb today.
Okay.
Mhm.
Positive. Any other thoughts, concerns, things that we should be looking at for next year? Okay, I'm going to add on to some of the stuff that Jill gave me is potential schedule for 2026. January, updates from prosecutors, public defense, and law enforcement corrections on their diversion programs. An inventory of current diversion programs using the sequential intercept model. I'm just going to kind of run through this, and then you guys let me know if you think that this is doable or if we should be looking at other areas. March, the joint meeting with Behavioral Health Committee, presentation on the data dashboard, updates from county administration on plans for the new jail and behavioral health care center. May updates from the courts, Judge Jones, Superior Court, Jake District Court, Tammy Bellingham, and Tracy for the small cities. And then an update on pretrial services, which could be a combination between Judge Jones and Stephanie Kraft. The July joint meeting, inventory on current reentry services and a review of the inmate survey from the health department, invite the health department and jail reentry service programs. And then November is a joint meeting again, and another update on administrational plans for the new jail and behavioral health care center. Any comments, thoughts? Is that doable, or there are things that people would like to see that's not on there? Different dates?
Raylene, I'm just gonna note right quick that you and Wendy are the only ones who have what you're looking at. This is just part of the annotated agenda that I sent you as co-chairs. So I don't think anyone else has this schedule that you're looking at. And it's also, the schedule is built around a bi-monthly meeting schedule, which the committee hasn't yet agreed to. So there's
Right.
a couple of steps I think that maybe need to be looked at before.
Needs to go first.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bill. So backing the horse up a little bit. I don't know that we can vote today because I don't think we quite have a quorum. But there have been discussions about changing the meeting schedule for legal and justice instead of going monthly to bi-monthly. I think with the makeup of this committee, and all of our time constraints, I felt that that was probably a better option. But I need people's weigh in on that, if they think that that's too little, or if we should be looking at it differently.
I'll support the proposal.
Jake? Maya seems to be nodding her head. Yes, okay. Stephanie? I'm pretty sure, knowing Miss Kraft, that she's going to support the proposal. Well, she's probably on the phone or in another meeting, but I think that's probably where she's at, and I was blessed with Tracy joining us today. But she is also a very busy person, so I think we can't take this to a vote until we have a quorum, and I don't know if we're gonna get that today, but we can always vote on that next time around. And it sounds like most are in favor, so maybe Jill, if we can put a note that we would like a motion and vote at the next legal and justice meeting, which won't be until December because November is Veterans Day. So we will be missing that one, that we could ask people to at least attend long enough so that we can put that on that calendar to vote on that option moving forward. Ms. Kraft, we just asked about people's insight on going to bi-monthly meetings instead of monthly meetings. And you're nodding your head too, so yay. So I think that is something that we'll look at and possibly vote on for next year. Jill? Yes, Jill.
Thank you. Can I get a little bit of direction on meeting length for next year as well?
Any requests? Do you want to keep it at an hour if we go to bi-monthly, or do you want to do an hour and a half?
So I'll support the hour, and I'd also suggest that we start at 11 instead of 11:30 if that can be done with everyone's schedule.
Okay. I'm okay with 11.
Thumbs up at 11 from Tracy.
Okay. So we're looking at 11 to noon, bi-monthly, and when we have a quorum at our next meeting, hopefully we can vote on that. Jill, anything else on that one?
Not for me. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so that is the start of it, and then Jill gave Wendy and I an annotated version, as you've heard, on possible schedules of agendas for 2026. Is there other steps that I'm missing, Jill?
No, but though that schedule can be adjusted by the chairs as needed when we build the actual agenda. And it can
Okay.
definitely include the items that everyone is talking about here today. So it's just more of a rough draft.
Okay. Is there anything that you would like to see other than what we've had Jake and Eric and Maya point out? Okay. Well, then we're gonna go to agenda items for December 16th joint meeting with the Behavioral Health Committee. Because we don't have a Legal and Justice Systems Committee meeting in November. Is there items that you would like to see in December that's joint? Wow, it's a really quiet day today. Wendy, do you think I'm missing anything here?
I don't think so. I know the working group I'm on has been talking about some of the disparity stuff and why that's showing up. But I don't know that we'll have something for December yet. So nothing right off the top of my head. I'm still actually getting up to speed, but by then I may have a response from Caleb and I might be able to update that. So
Okay. I know some of the stuff that we have been asked about from the exec and from the index committee is, you know, helping with the data dashboard and data on time from people being incarcerated to trial, and we're still working on trying to figure out how to get that information in a timely manner. The only thing that I could see that might be beneficial, and I don't know how hard it would be, is, and maybe Eric, that's something you can work on with your data systems. If there's a way to extract people that are awaiting trial that have mental health issues, that's delaying it. And if there's anything that the behavioral health team can help on that.
Okay, so you asked me a question. I saw Wendy's hand go up. Raylene, can you send me an email, what it is that you'd like me to look at and see if we can pull that data from? I mean, to pull that data for, and I'll see if we can pull that data.
Okay.
Because I mean, yeah, I'll get it lost in translation. That won't do us any good.
No problem. Wendy?
mine was just that we have to be very careful. Information coming from the jail. The identification that somebody was mentally ill cannot come from the jail because it's medical confidentiality issues. If the prosecutor or the public defender, because that's a legal issue that they're dealing with, and that they were the ones that shared that information because somebody needs an evaluation or they're at Western or whatever, that would be fine. But the jail would not be the place where that could come from. Otherwise, we'll get sued.
Yeah,
And
I think Wendy's right. And
yeah.
with that said, we would have information about people being in the competency proceedings, so
yeah.
we should be able to provide some good information.
Yeah, because it's reasonable, you know, if somebody sits in, a lot of our folks who are there for long periods of time. It can also be because they're at Western getting competency restoration and all of that song and dance, but
It might be that we're not providing names of anybody, we're just giving them numbers, and if there's any way we can determine like the racial disparity and put that into it, if that's something that's being questioned, I don't know if there's any anything coinciding in that. I don't know if that's even an option or necessary. I think it could just be, we've got this many people waiting to go to trial. And these are the reasons why out of this amount.
Let's see.
I
I'm
mean,
trying to figure.
the jail does create this jail aging report. It doesn't do anything except list, it categorizes sort of like inmates who've been held for over 365 days. And so there are currently, a last report said there were 23 of those. And it doesn't say what's going on with the cases, but if you look even superficially, I don't know if you can look into Odyssey, but if you can look on whatever public website is available, you can see the nature of the charge. If it's a homicide or something like that, or if there's been competency proceedings entered, that's public record. Like that won't indicate if they just have mental health issues, but if it's a competency related issue, you could see that. So, I mean, I myself just do that so that I know what's going on with the older cases.
And that's what I used to do, because I'd get the aging one and I'd go through and I'd go upstairs and just flip through the booking cards, because that would tell me, this got delayed, or this is what's going on, but actually, as the chief, usually you've got a little bit more discretionary time, as weirdly as it sounds. So, and that was one way of pulling that data. But
Okay.
that was before we were dealing with getting a new jail built. So I know Caleb's up to his eyebrows.
I'm sure he is, but if we can pull some of it together, maybe that'll be beneficial.
Let me talk with Caleb about, since I'm talking to him anyway. I think that maybe we can use our records management, Wendy Tarkin.
Okay.
And she may be able to if we get her on the list of this aging document, then it wouldn't take her very long, and she gets very familiar with, especially the folks who are there long term. So, but I don't want to commit her without talking to Caleb, since he's the chief now.
Yes.
We've already been told she's very, very busy and it's hard for us to get records we need from her. So,
Well, the other thing I've got another alternative, and that maybe we might be able to show Lori, who's the administrative secretary for the jail, to be able to do it. Because if it comes out every month or so, it's not going to take that long, because the folks who are, maybe looking and saying, if you've got somebody here who's been here for 6 months or longer, those are really the ones we want to focus on, or maybe it goes back to 90 days or whatever. So that might be part of the conversation, but she could probably work that around the administrative chores that she's got. And it just is a matter of getting her a little more comfortable with some of the language that the deputies use and stuff to enter information. So, but let me talk to Caleb and I'll get back with you guys.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Peter, do you have any thoughts or comments on these items?
I have lots of thoughts. I'm not sure I have any comments. I'm just wanting to pop into your meeting and see what you guys are thinking about for the next year and what's been accomplished in the past year, what you're interested in focusing on. And this data discussion is interesting to me, of course, because we have a long way to go. And with our data to understand with this the new jail being built and the big questions around sizing and booking restrictions and warrants and everything else. I'm very interested in that community conversation. We're going to need to speak to it. And I don't, I'm trying to get my arms wrapped around that because I'm not sure we have good answers. So I just wanted to pop in today, see what you guys were thinking about.
Thanks, Peter. Wendy? Oh, you just had your hand up yet, so I didn't know if it was, just checking, as I care.
Sorry about that.
All right. All right, so is there any other things that people would like to see for the December joint meeting? All right. I will make sure Dan knows and his partner in crime, and we can move forward. And then I think it's gonna be a short meeting today. I really apologize to everybody about that. I know how devastated you're all gonna be. So I think we need to look for other business. Is there anything that anybody wants to bring up? Okay. Then I think we're on to public comment. Jill, do we have anybody in the public?
We do not, unless Peter, you have someone in the conference room with you?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing everybody in December. Have a great November. And if there's something that you saw, questions, concerns, things that you want to see, please let Wendy or I know, and include Jill, so that we can make sure it gets on the next agenda. And I will send you an email, Eric, and I appreciate you working with Caleb, Wendy. Thank you so much.